Hi and welcome. I write short stories. The Freezer in the Shed. By someone who wasn't lucky, just stubborn enough to survive. You ever get the feeling that life isn't something you live, but something you duck under? That's how it's always been for me. My name's Dennis. I'm 52, I smell like oil and cigarettes most days, and my knees sound like bubble wrap when I crouch. I live in a town that used to have a factory, something with machines or parts, I think. Long gone now. Just a big rusted shell full of broken windows and bad memories. I got laid off in April. Didn't make the news. Nothing here ever does. I'm not one of those tragic people in movies. I'm not brave or clever. I'm the guy who forgets his wallet and doesn't go back for it because, what's the point? The last thing I expected was a goddamn mystery showing up in my life. But then the freezer came. It was sitting in the gravel behind my shed one morning. White, stained, humming. Like it had always been there. No note, no knock. Just there. I didn't recognize it at first, but the plug had a strip of red duct tape. My brother Gary always used red tape for his gear. Said it made things easier to track. Right. The man couldn't track his own children, 2 ex-wives, for kids, none of them speaking to him, and now he was shipping appliances across borders like nothing happened? I didn't call him. I didn't want to. But I looked at the freezer. And inside, it wasn't what I expected. Meat. Neatly vacuum sealed. Stacked. No labels. No frost. It didn't even smell. Just sat there, humming like it knew a secret. 3 days later, I got a letter. Not a phone call, not a text, an actual envelope with my name in block capitals. Inside was a single line, printed. Don't open the rest until after December 1st, keep it plugged in. Trust me. Gary. I laughed out loud. Trust me, he says. This is the same guy who borrowed my car in 2014 and came back 2 years later with a new paint job and no explanation. But something about the letter stuck in my head. December 1st. It was oddly specific. The smart thing, the intelligent thing, would have been to unplug it, toss the meat, and move on. But I'm not smart. I'm just bored. On November 6th, I cooked one of the smaller packages. I remember it because it was a Sunday, and I'd just lost at online poker again. It cooked fast. Barely needed oil. The smell was rich, like veal but stronger. I couldn't stop eating it. Barely chewed. Just kept going. No side effects. No hallucinations. No glowing eyes in the mirror. Just full. That night, I slept 8 full hours for the first time in maybe a decade. I told myself it was just protein. I'd been living off canned ravioli and crackers for months. But deep down, I knew there was something strange going on. The second package came 2 days later. And that's when the police showed up. It was around 8 p.m. Rain tapping the windows. I thought it was a delivery guy. Maybe someone selling religion. But when I opened the door, there he was, Tim. My ex-brother-in-law. Cop. Straight shooter. Bad handshake. Dennis, he said, nodding with all the enthusiasm of a DMV clerk. Behind him, 2 younger uniforms. What's this about? I asked, already tensing. We're looking into a break-in over on Kettle Street. Storage units got cleaned out. Freezer was taken. Thought you might have seen anything. I played dumb. Shrugged. Said I didn't know anything. Said I hadn't talked to Gary in years, technically true. Tim looked past me like he was waiting to spot something illegal. Guns. Drugs. A kidnapped flamingo. Whatever. You still living alone? He asked. More or less. He nodded again. Let us know if anything comes up. And just like that, he was gone. I closed the door. Locked it. Then I went out to the shed and just stared at the freezer for a long time. It didn't look dangerous. It looked like it belonged at a garage sale. The days went by. Each time I ate a piece of that mystery meat, something shifted. My back stopped hurting. My fingernails grew faster. I stopped waking up at 3 a.m. with chest tightness and dread. Even my mind felt clearer. I started remembering birthdays, phone numbers. I cleaned the gutters, sorted my tools, read a whole book. Then Marie called. Out of nowhere. Said she'd heard I was doing better. I asked who told her. She didn't answer. We got coffee. She looked older. So did I. She said she was thinking of moving back to town, maybe looking for work nearby. There was a pause. The kind that stretches across a broken marriage like a thin bridge. I never hated you, she said. I nodded. Didn't say anything. She didn't come back. But that moment, that conversation, made me feel like I wasn't a total screw-up anymore. Maybe I could have gotten her back. If I tried harder. If I wanted it enough. But I didn't. I wanted something else. I wanted to feel normal again. December 1st arrived. I waited until midnight. Went out to the shed. Pulled the last layer of meat out of the freezer. At the bottom, under a false panel, was a manila envelope. Inside, a fake Spanish passport with Gary's photo under the name Marco Andres. $2,000 in cash. A note. Written in Gary's sloppy half-print, half-cursive. If you're reading this, I'm gone. I took something from some very bad people. Couldn't keep it. Couldn't throw it away either. So I froze it. Thought it might do someone good. You always looked after me. Even when I didn't deserve it. Don't follow me. Don't look into it. This is your last gift. Be boring. You're good at that. Love you. Gary. I stood there for a long time, reading that last line. Be boring. For once, I agreed with him. I burned the note in the sink. Left the passport in the freezer. Threw the cash in a cereal box and hid it behind my water heater. That same night, I dragged the freezer into my truck. Took it deep into the woods outside town. Pushed it off an embankment and listened as it tumbled out of sight. It was over. In January, I got hired on at a warehouse. Moving boxes. Lifting things. Laughing with guys I didn't hate. It wasn't glamorous, but it was work. Solid, unremarkable work. I didn't talk to Marie again. Gary never reached out. Some nights, I still wonder what I ate. If it was synthetic. Illegal. If it came from something extinct or something that never should have existed. But then I think, maybe it doesn't matter. Maybe the universe handed me a little bit of magic and trusted me not to ask too many questions. That's the trick, I think. You don't win by being smart. You win by knowing when not to dig. Sometimes intelligence just makes you paranoid. Dumb luck? That gets you out the other side. Alive. I don't have answers. But I do have a new freezer. It's empty. And that's just how I like it. Unfortunately, this is the end of the story. I will make a new one soon. It would help me a great deal if you subscribe and like. Until next time. Don't do anything hasty.